Hi everyone in English 1301, it's Dr. E and I'm here with a video that is going to walk through just the main areas of D2L that you'll utilize in our course. So I know D2L may be unfamiliar for some of you may be very familiar with D2L from previous courses, but you know that all professors do things a little bit differently, so I want you to have an idea of how our class will be structured. So this is our main page. When you log into D2L, you'll want to make sure that you start here and take a look at the announcements. This is where you'll see this video linked, as well as any other announcements that are relevant to our course. I've tried to set up our homepage a little more functionally so that you have these kind of quick modules right here. If you need something in a pinch, you know where to find them. You can just click on these things and find the information that you need. I definitely want you to take some time in the Start Here module. So I'm just going to go ahead and click there. And this just walks through kind of the basics of our course. So there's a section where you can meet your instructor, there's access to the syllabus and course calendar, as well as information about the textbook, but also the technology that is useful and pretty much a requirement for our course, as well as any frequently asked questions, and then just a rundown of all the different areas. What I do want to note right off the bat is that this is pretty meaningless. You see check marks here, and that means that you have accessed an area. So if I click on Meet Your Instructor, that will then create a check mark in that area. It does not mean that your assignment has been complete. So just something I'm going to try to remind you of throughout our time together, because I have students who are sometimes a little confused and frustrated because they'll see that check mark and go, well, I think I submitted it, but it's just D2L. All right, I'm going back to our home page so I can show you, where the quick links are. So first is going to be content. This is a really important area. One second, I have a cat intruding. Sorry, that's definitely going to happen from time to time, cats and dogs. So if you click on the content area, this takes you, again, it will probably look like this the first time you log in. And again, this doesn't mean the work is complete, it just means those are the areas that you've visited. So the Start Here module, everything over here is called a module. So the Start Here module, you have book and additional readings. So we have a link to purchase the book from the publisher or a link to the bookstore. We also have additional readings that are outside of that book. So those will always be available here. And then there is a section for student success. And this is just if you have issues with technology, if you need resources, there's a link right here, as well as a link, see all the different areas you can access, as well as a link for academic support. So you'll have things like academic advising and whatnot. I do want to note that there is a section on bonus events or workshops. I'm not going to get too much into that. I'll let you take your time to read it, and let me know if you have questions. All right, there's also a section on writing strategies. If you have time, why not? And then there's going to be a module where pretty much all of the materials for our course will be located. So the syllabus is always going to be here. The course schedule is always going to be here. Anytime there are any updates, everything will be updated here as well. We have some templates because I find that MLA is not the easiest, so I wanted to make sure I'm offering templates for all of our assignments just to make that information a little more accessible, because I find that a lot of students are using Google Docs these days, and Google Docs is frustrating in terms of functionality. It is not nearly as functional as the full access of the full version of Microsoft Word, but you can download the document here, or if you click on this, it will take you and you can make a copy if you have a Google account, right, or a Gmail account. And this is what the template looks like. And so additionally, I will upload any rubrics for our future assignments. These are just the basics. This week you do have a mind map, so there are guidelines. There's an instructional video that I'll admit is from a previous semester, but the same rules apply, as well as some templates if you choose to use our templates, or you can definitely use Canva or mind map or anything that produce the kind of mind map that you like. And then there is a document about the discussion posts when we do those. There is a whole module on MLA help. So there's a link to our, just the gold standard when it comes to assistance with MLA, and that's the Purdue Online Writing Lab website. This is something you might want to bookmark. It's pretty important because this is what allows us to not have to purchase an additional book for MLA. MLA is a lot, and a lot of you will be taking courses that do not require MLA, that in fact require something like APA. But know that Purdue, they also have a section on APA because that is pretty popular with academic writing. There are some examples using an article that we'll actually read in the future. There's an MLA video that you will want to watch, and that is going to be assigned. It gives you an idea of how to use MLA in our course and goes through some of this information, and this will all make sense in a little bit. How to cite other common sources, some example citations, and then we're getting to the D2L and tech help. This is really important. I cannot emphasize enough to you that I am not a tech expert. I know the basics of D2L, but oftentimes I have to reach out to find some assistance as well, or if something with D2L is not working properly, that's when we need to bring in the people from the Office of Technology Services. So this is where you want to go for any of those issues. The first thing is a how-to about setting up Google Docs, slides, etc., because I find that some students may use Google Docs, but there may be a more efficient way to save your documents or place them. It can be a little overwhelming, especially if you're using a device that was issued from your school. Here's a link on how to set up Remind. This is something we will use in our course, but it is not a requirement, so you certainly do not have to. I will usually, if I post something in Remind, if I make any changes to our schedule, or if I want to remind you of a due date, I will post in Remind, but then I will also make sure that I'm posting in our announcements area. So you want to make sure that you are just getting very familiar with where things are placed in our course. Okay, there are some other really important links. So we have the OTS site. This is really important because as a student at Lone Star College, you have resources available to you. So if you click on the student resources, you can actually get the software. So you can download the full version of Microsoft Office and stop working with Google Docs, because I'm telling you, it is going to make your life easier. I say this every semester, and every semester very few students take me up on this, which, it's your prerogative, but this is the full version of the Microsoft Office suite, so why not take advantage of that? And make sure I'll show you in a second, my bad. Okay, so another link that's really important is VLAC, or the Virtual Learning Assistance Center. This is for students, and it has quick links to everything. So if you want to do a quick chat with IT, if you want to chat with a librarian about MLA or research, everything is here for you. And on the left-hand side are even more specific kind of bullets about just starting off the semester, D2L, how do you upload an assignment, how do you do all of this? It is all here. If things that they are identifying as steps to create a video or delete an assignment or do whatever it is that you want to do, if things are not working in your course area, this is when you bring in people from OTS or IT. You can also call, so just make sure that you maybe bookmark this, or just know that this is available when you log into your My Lone Star account, as well as in our course area. Okay, and as you'll see, when you click something, it will take you to that space, and it can be a little confusing. So a way to get out of that is either to click the course name at the very top, and that will take you back to our main page. Or if you want to take a step back, of course, you have the guide here. And so I've tried to upload anything that will be helpful. So these are all links, how to use Pulse, the app, editing a discussion post, taking a quiz. You can change your preferred name in D2L. So if you're, I'm using air quotes, you can't see them, legal name does not match what your preferred name is, you can definitely update that here. If you're viewing feedback, another one is going to be those of you who utilize Macs instead of PCs. There's a way to convert your Pages documents, because Turnitin does not accept Pages, it will not open, and I can't grade what I can't open. So just make sure that you know how to do that and know that there are resources here. And then below this will be all of your weekly modules. So week 1 is available here. We're just going week by week because this can, look at those, overwhelming. Don't be overwhelmed. It's going to be okay, but that's why we do 1 week at a time. At the top, you can look at your grades by selecting this drop down here. Course activities, you have assignments, that's something we will use regularly, and quizzes, that's what we will use regularly. So that's the main thing those are the main things we're using here. Collaboration, what we use will be discussions, definitely. And then if you scroll down, there are WebEx meetings. This is how we'll hold those student success hours or office hours. So if you click on that, you know, WebEx is not perfect. We can definitely set up a time to meet via Zoom, but I have, you know, weekly time set up for our course. Make sure that you've selected the proper time zone. And from this page, you'll want to click appointment booking. So you're booking an appointment to meet with me, and these are the times that they're available. And you just click on this little, you know, and it drops down, you reserve, you know, if you want to tell me what you want to talk about, and then you'll come back to this exact space when it's time for us to meet. And remember to change your time zone, because sometimes students will email me and say, well, I'm here for our meeting, and our meeting has passed because you're in a different time zone, unfortunately. So just things to double check. All right, I'm going to go back to our content area and show you, you know, our weekly module is set up in a very specific way. So this is week 1, and I will always have 3 separate areas for each week. And that will be the to watch area. And so those are videos you're going to watch for each week. You'll see this appear there once it's done. To review, so any documents or videos that you might need to review. And then the to-do, this is where you'll actually go to do things. And again, I want to note that there's a check mark here. It does not mean the discussion has been completed. It's a frustrating thing about D2L. It just means that this is a place that has been visited. So you have clicked on this, and therefore there is a check mark. Okay, I want to note that there are, you know, the same things in any kind of learning management system, such as email. So if you click on the drop down here, eventually it will bring up your email option. So you click right here. And just like any others, you click compose. And I really do recommend that you know the person's name. So if you're emailing me, know my name, first or last, and it will show you here. Either of these is fine. They both go to the same place. Keep the subject line because it's already pre-populated. If you don't know somebody's name, you have to go to the address book, and that's a whole nother thing. There is a link in the D2L help area. It's a lot, so just know the person's name. Make sure that you know when you're in our course, the subject will be this. If you're emailing me from your biology course, I will be confused. Lastly, at the top, you can set up notifications in D2L. So even though you can sign up for Remind, or you can just log in frequently, you can also utilize the Brightspace Pulse app. It is not as functional as actually logging in with a web browser. It's one of those things where you can use it to check your grades or send a quick email. It is not a place to upload your assignments. So if that's your plan, make a new plan, because it just is not going to be as functional and as user-friendly, and you cannot do some of the functions in the app that you can do when you actually log in using your browser. All right, so what you want to do to set up notifications is click register your mobile. You'll fill out all of this information, offer your number, click save, and it will send you, you know, a text confirmation. And once you have registered your mobile, if you scroll down, you can ask to be notified of all of these things. Don't select email unless you regularly check your email. But once you register your mobile, these options will be available. And I encourage you to be really picky. Don't select everything, because I go in and I tinker with D2L all the time. You don't need to be notified every time I do something and then change it back and then change, you know, be very picky. I definitely suggest that the announcements are something that you keep track of. So I think that's it for now. I hope this gives you a good idea of the main areas that we will utilize in D2L. But again, take some time, click around. I'll go into even more detail in our weekly instructional video about what to do in our first week together. So hang in there and on to the next video, but be sure to take a break before watching that.